I think he shoved. He's like he thought he shoved him.
Yeah, and he goes out of bounds.
He said, "Don't."
And here we go. And Giannis says, "Hey, that's okay." And he tries to put an arm around him, and he just slaps it off. Don't do that to me.
That's what my granddaddy do. Your dad grab a kid by the back of his neck and be squeezing. But get your hands off me.
Get your hands off me. Right. And I love that because that showed you this Celtics team. I've told you again and again, Ime Udoka instilled a backbone in this team.
Yeah, they built different.
Defensive toughness, just a general toughness. That Brad Stevens is a really nice guy, and he's a really good basketball coach as far as X's and O's go.
Udoka is what they needed.
Hey, that's what they needed. It's night and day. All of a sudden, you got a chip off the Popovich block who brought a toughness to the Spurs, those glory teams, the championship, the dynastic Spurs, and he has now instilled and installed it in Boston. And you saw it right before your very eyes. And then we've got the Giannis play down the stretch where he got tangled up with Marcus Smart. I think you alluded to it. And in the end, they got so tangled up, Marcus Smart actually tried to help him up. And Giannis took his hand for a second. He couldn't get up. You know why? He has hit the wall. They build a wall, and he has hit it, and he's just flat out in the fourth quarters. He is running out of gas. And at one point, he had to take a whole minute off, which was crucial down the stretch of a very tight game, because we used to see last year, he hyperventilates. He gets so into it that he can't control his breathing anymore, and he has to just go sit down for a second and regain control of himself, right?
Skip, when you look at, I mean, you see why Giannis is tired. They shot 84% from the floor, 80% from the three, 100% from the free throw line, and they had one turnover. So I don't care how great you are defensively. Your legs can't move faster than they can swing the ball. Now, Al Horford did get a couple of open looks. But other than that, Skip, they just hit tough shots. Jason Tatum was pulling up in people's face. Marcus Smart was pulling up in guys' face.
Well, you're just playing bully ball.
Skip, at that point in time, you just coach. Okay. I'm looking at Bud like, coach, what you want me to do? You see what this man is? This man 30 feet out.
Shannon, it happened in back-to-back fourth quarters in Milwaukee's house. The first one was on Saturday, and they couldn't quite close the deal because Horford had the tip in that was just a split second late. But remember, they got 3 tips off the Marcus Smart missed free throw to win the game. The final score of the fourth quarter on Saturday was 34-23 Boston. The final score of the fourth quarter last night was 43-28 Boston. Boston scored 43 in the fourth quarter. So if I add those numbers up, that means Boston won the 2 fourth quarters in Milwaukee, 77-51. Well, that's just a wipeout. That has something to do with the best player on the planet not being able to rise up and say, not in my house.
Well, Skip, normally what the guy, you try to pace yourself, but he can't pace himself because there's no Middleton. Holiday is playing really, really bad. So there is no pacing. He's like, I've got to go all out or we're going to be down 20. And he has to play, Skip. He's playing both ends of the court. You look at him, what he's averaging, 33 and 13 and 8. 33, 13 and 8. And he's playing damn near 40 minutes. He can only do so much without Middleton. These other guys, he's going to have to play Bobby Portis. Now, I don't know what Bobby Portis is saying, but he's going to have to play Bobby Portis some minutes because Bobby Portis can give you some buckets. He can give you some size. He can give you some rebounding. These are, I understand that, and he shortened his bench even more.
That's what happens as your throat tightens and the playoffs get deeper and deeper. Shannon Sharp, what did I tell you all last year's playoff run? The closer for the Bucks is Chris Middleton. He was the one who hit the game-winning shot in Game 7 at Brooklyn. Chris Middleton. Giannis made one early in the overtime, but Chris Middleton made the closing shot. The point was, it's hard for me to go best player on the planet. Obviously, I see the just surreal talent that he has. What do we call him? 6'11", long, strong, incredibly athletic. He has gained some confidence in his shots, but now I'm starting to look at
the yips at the free throw line again.
Well, he's 2 for 16. You said 2 for 12. He's 2 for 16 from 3. 2 for 16. That's 13%. And all of a sudden, the free throw demons are starting to eat away. And I would really, if I were you, worry about him at Boston because they're going to start counting his dribbles again if he so desires to
But you know what, Skip? What you have to be impressed with? he still put his head down and I'm going to the basket. I go right back to the free throw line. I might miss both of them. I might make one. There ain't no telling what's going to happen. But I'm going to put my head down and I'm going through the line.
Well, now the odds are that he might make 1 out of 2 because he's at 61%.
Yeah, and he shot, what, 70, 72, 73 in the regular season?
I think so, but he's 21 of 43 in this one. Yeah, he improved dramatically, and obviously against Phoenix last year in single coverage. And again, I congratulate Monty Williams for winning Coach of the Year because he richly deserved it. But in the finals, he was not the coach of the finals. He was the uncoach of the finals because that was the worst strategic plan I've ever seen in a finals. Remember when Chris Paul, after Game 4, saying, I guess we should build a wall, maybe, right? Because everybody builds a wall except those guys. And we got DeAndre Ayton, who's not the toughest of
you ain't playing. Ain't nobody. You're not playing with Giannis one-on-one.
No.
You better build a wall and keep him out.
Okay, they tried to play him one-on-one, and you saw the outcome. It was a disaster for Phoenix because they had. What did he shoot? 61% from the floor. From the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 4 games against Boston, he's at 44%, which is no good.
Yeah.
And last night he was 14 of 32. Well, 32 shots. Obviously, it's way too many shots for the good of the team, unless you make 20 of them. And he made 14 of 32.
Exactly. So when you look at it, they had 94 shots, and he and Holiday had 54 of them.
Okay. So they missed Chris Middleton. I have no idea if Chris Middleton's going to be back.
I don't think he's coming back this series. If you, I'd probably skip. He's probably not coming back next series either.
Okay. Well, then they are going to be in some trouble.
They're in trouble.
Okay, but you're sticking with your
I got to ride with them because I picked him already. If they'd have had Chris Middleton, I felt very comfortable this series be over in 6. I still believe it's going to go a long series, but it go 7 games. But now it's a coin flip.
Okay.
It's a coin flip.
All right, but remember, Game 7 would be in Boston.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Boston doesn't have to do anything else but just win at home.
They got to win at home.
That's all they got to do.
I believe they will win at home because I had Boston in 7, and I am sticking to it.
Boston did what they came to do.
They
at least get one game and get it back to our home and home for us.
I thought last night for Boston was season turning and saving because obviously if you go down 3-1, but 2-2 going home, you got a shot.
Skip. The thing that impressed me about Boston, I knew Boston was for real. When the Miami Heat and Philly and Milwaukee was resting, trying to avoid Brooklyn, they say, we want this. Marcus Smart say, well, if they're who they think they are and we are who we think we are, we're going to see them anyway.
That is correct.
Sooner or later. Skip, they got a mindset, don't care. Jump the ball.
And here we are.
Damn, I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble.
It's going to be a good one, guys. That Game 5 unfolding in Boston tomorrow night. And get this, Boston shot 84% in that final fourth quarter. That's the best percentage they've had in a playoff closing quarter since the 90s. They're hot. Wow. Okay, LeBron, he might be out of the playoffs, but he is certainly still active on social media. This week, he posted some lyrics from Nas's 1999 track, Hate Me Now, writing, quote, people warned me, when you're on top, there's envy. Shannon, this is your dude. What exactly is LeBron